Well, hello, I'm Jenny, and I am in the White Mountains of New Hampshire today. I'm doing a hike up the Tripyramids, and I'll say a little bit more about that in a minute, but also wanted to talk today about some goals that I have for my upcoming thru-hike on the Appalachian Trail. So come along with me on this hike and go for a little adventure while we talk about an upcoming adventure. First, a little bit about this hike. This is doing the Tripyramids, and this is about a 9-mile hike. The trail I'm doing is the Pine Bend Trail, and as far as I know, this is the only trail that's easily accessible in the winter time, because the trailhead starts right off of a main road, the Kangamingus Highway. Actually, the parking for it, there's not really a parking lot. You just kind of park on the side of the road. And there was quite a few cars here, actually, considering, it's January. Usually, not as many people hike in the winter, which makes it a great time to hike if you're prepared, which I am today. I have my microspikes on because underneath this very light dusting of snow, there is ice. So I was really bummed because I really wanted to do this trip as an overnight for a couple reasons. One, to make the hike easier, and two, I wanted to test out my new underquilt that I got. I actually got a 20-degree Wookie that I was going to try out with my hammock and the sock to see if it was going to be warm enough for temperatures that tonight are supposed to dip into the teens, if not a little lower. I am not going to be able to do that because we are supposed to get a winter storm tonight into tomorrow, and I do not live close, so I did not want to risk driving in a snowstorm. Instead, I'm planning to just try and get this hike done as fast as possible to limit the amount of night hiking that I'm going to be doing. I anticipate that if I am able to get back to the car before dark, it's going to be cutting it kind of close. First goal is to bag North Tripyramid and Middle Tripyramid. And both of these mountains are 4,000 foot peaks that are on the 48 4,000 footer list in New Hampshire. And this is a list I've been working on, not like religiously, but I've been working on for 3 years now. And the end is finally in sight. I have, I think, 13 left. After this, it'll be 11. The remaining 11 peaks are all either on the Appalachian Trail or a short blue blaze off of it. I mentioned having goals for my thru hike. Other than hiking the 2,200 miles to Mount Katahdin, a side goal of mine is to also finish my 48 at the same time. So that would be obviously when I'm hiking through the White Mountains in New Hampshire, be able to hit my remaining peaks. There's a long list. Maybe I'll put it on the screen here, which ones I still need. Every time I do a thru hike, I see it as like an intra-personal journey where I sort of have a problem going into the hike, and then over the course of the hike, it gives me a lot of time to think
and be by myself. And eventually, by the end of that hike, I've kind of worked it out. And I usually end up, feeling better about something or myself in some way. Essentially, my goal for myself for hiking the Appalachian Trail is to just be my own driver. I think what kind of partially maybe spurred some of this was last summer, like almost getting in several car accidents and actually getting into 2 actual accidents where I was not in the driver's seat. I wouldn't say I haven't been a driver of my life, because yes, I have, but there's been times when I've kind of let other people decide things for me because I didn't know how to make the choice, or there was a specific person I wanted to be with or be friends with or be somehow accepted by, and I let myself be swayed by what I perceived that they wanted me to do.
I found that the things that have made me happy over the years have been things that were my own initiative.
I still have an instinct in myself to be like kind of like a people pleaser, and like I want to meet other people's expectations of me, and I'm afraid to fail. I just have to let that go. But it's harder than just saying that. Actually doing it is kind of a longer journey, and something that I want to literally and symbolically overcome. I really can't believe how many water crossings there are.
I'm happy to report I remembered my boots this trip, and wearing my quote-unquote waterproof socks that are more like water-resistant socks, but I figure I've got my quote-unquote waterproof boots on, my quote-unquote waterproof socks on. I'm hoping it resists at least a little bit of the water. Now seems like a good time as any to enjoy some trail soup. One tip for winter hiking that I will share is make some hot soup ahead of time before your hike, and put it in a thermos. Then when you get on your hike, it's still warm. Eating something warm really helps to keep you warm and have enough energy to finish the hike. This is a spicy lentil soup I got from the clearance bin at Hannaford. This is really hitting the spot right now. I guess I'm at least 2 miles into this hike, and I think I have about 2 more to go to the first summit, and it is going to start getting more steep. So this was a good time to refuel for the climb.
I do want to finish the hike in 5 months. I know some people do it in 4, and that just doesn't seem like realistically something I can do. I want to go as fast as I can, but not at the expense of like my suffering. Up to Mount Tripyramid. I think it's another 0.7 to the summit, and then we're gonna go a little past that to Middle Tripyramid to bag that one as well. I mentioned there's multiple ways to get up to the Tripyramids. The most famous one involves slides, which are supposedly pretty steep and slick. But that trail is on the terrifying 25 list, I believe, which is 25 of the scariest trails in New Hampshire. It's not really a list I'm actively working on, but maybe someday. All right, this looks like the summit of Tripyramid North. Not really a view up here, but nice cleared area. I'll get my summit photo and then head to Middle Tripyramid. I meant to put this on photo. I'm pretty bummed out because things up to this point were going really well with my new GoPro Enduro battery, but I noticed that it was draining pretty quickly on this hike, and it's not really much colder than it was on my last hike. I think it's in the 20s right now, and it just shut off on me. It was at 20% shut off, so it's really lame. I'm gonna really need something dependable when I go on trail, because I don't want to have to keep using my phone and carrying the weight of the GoPro. Well, I found a quote-unquote view. Looks like a ski mountain over there. All right, this looks like the summit of Middle Tripyramid. This one has a little bit of a view. Probably see more if it wasn't so clouded in today. Oh, time for a photo. My hair is frozen. All right, it's cold up here, so I'm gonna head back down. Coming down these rocks, whoa! Oh my god. Coming down these rocks with micro spikes is pretty challenging. You have to really watch where you're stepping. Ugh. So it's been pretty slow going getting down. Oh, made it back to my car. It's starting to snow, so hopefully I can make it home before it gets too bad. Coming down was harder than expected. Pretty wiped. So it ended up being 9.5 miles, 3,000 feet of elevation gain. Woo! Man, I'm gonna be sore tonight. Anyways, I'm gonna head home and try and beat the worst of the snow. Thank you for watching and happy trails.